Well, how about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine, Bobby.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving. I got a virtual Thanksgiving going. What do they call it? What do they call the options thing? Like, I'm drawing a blank here. Like you're virtually long or short. Synthetic. I got a synthetic Thanksgiving going on. I am cooking the turkey. I got to get to it, man. I got to start prepping. I got to get my arm in there and clear it out.
In the innards.
19-pound turkey plus a pound of stuffing, 15 minutes a pound, 5 hours right on the dead nut ball sack, Matt. And can't wait. Can't wait to get into it. Happy Thanksgiving out there to all of you kind
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Your tribe, Matt. Yeah, everybody has a tribe.
It's all about your tribe.
All about your tribe. Matt, speaking of tribes, big football game on Saturday, but I know you got some NCAA since it's the most wonderful time of the year, right? They'll be kicking it off here any minute for the NFL, and then we got
I'm going to go the NFL. It's real simple this week. Thanksgiving.
Any minute tomorrow. I'm synthetically speaking about tomorrow.
Right, but on tomorrow's game, it's you versus me. I got the Lions +3, and I'll take the money line. I'll go all in Lions, and
all I want to do is bet the under.
Yeah, it's probably like 29 points, and it still will pay.
Let's bet the under. Let's bet over on field goals.
Let's bet that both coaches could be fired.
My son gave me a little tidbit. Chicago Bears have never fired a coach mid-season. And I think that's just idiotic. Like you see it all the time in hockey, by the way. We had this conversation. In hockey, they fire a coach, and then they have they just raise the assistant, and sometimes the assistant's awesome, and he signs the contract, right?
Right.
And I think in hockey, let's face it, hockey players are backstabbers, right? They always have been, they always will be. So the assistant knows what's wrong with the team. Right. But he ain't saying shit because he knows the head coach.
Because he knows he's got a chance if he gets fired.
Exactly. The head coach gets adios. He's like, all right, listen, man, I could see this percolating. I could see this brewing. Thank you. I know how to fix the thing. And
that makes sense. It's actually
amazing turnarounds with changes of coaches and baseball also.
Yeah, that makes some sense. Yeah, and then what I decided to do is if we do a show Friday, we'll talk Saturday, Sunday games, but we'll take the Lions, you'll take the Bears, and just because that's where our roots are. And then I've got a 3-team parlay for the Friday college games. That's college football.
What are they?
We've got Nebraska at home versus the Iowa Hawkeyes, 3-8 versus 9-2. Nebraska is getting 1.5 at home. Take them. They're going to win outright. Mississippi State hosting the Mississippi Rebels. And,
Mississippi State hosting
the Rebels, and they are -1. Again, they are 7-4 versus the 9-2 Mississippi Rebels. Take Mississippi State because Mississippi, they have a great quarterback, but they have no defense, and Mississippi State's going to score like 50 on them.
And it's a hostile environment, interstate rivalry. I mean, there's a lot going on in this game. All right.
Again,
Nebraska, Mississippi State.
So two home teams in the Friday, end of season battles. The third, we're going to go with another one. Washington State at Washington. Take Washington State, giving 1.5. Again, their offense is clicking. Washington sucks. I don't even know how they've won five
Tell
games.
me what you really think about their football prowess, though.
I mean, they suck. And so take Wazoo, giving the 1.5 because they can score and Washington cannot score. So there's your 3 picks. They're all basically pick 'em games. I went with Nebraska, Mississippi State, Wazoo. They're all either +1.5, -1, -1.5. It's pretty straightforward. Pick 'em games. I like pick 'em games, especially at the end of the season. So that's how I'm betting it, Bob. I think, matter of fact, Ole Miss should be probably touchdown underdog, and they're only getting 1. And I have the same thing with Wazoo. I think they could win by 2 touchdowns. And Nebraska is going to upset Iowa because Iowa sucks. They just suck, and they're 9-2. I have no idea how they're 9-2.
All right, Matt, this from shared from Tyler at Zero Hedge. New home sales data suffers huge downward revision. Inventories had 13-year high. We talked about this on the pregame. There are several cracks seemingly forming in the system. Matt, the Titanic has hit the iceberg as far as this data shows, and you've lived through several booms and busts living in Bend notorious for booms and busts way more than lots of parts of the country.
Yeah.
But this whole thing,
well, smaller numbers are easier to affect, right? So that's what you have.
But I mean, when you look at this macro wise, it's not great. I mean, you had higher building costs. If the one thing that I noticed in the article was time to sell, double the time to sell from 3 months plus to 6 months plus, that doubles again. You got a lot of people in trouble. If you got to hold a house for a year before you can flip it, new home,
and you're going to stop building the next one because you can't count on that one selling. So that becomes like, so here's what I always look at. Let's look at the housing sector, the Philly HDX, Bob, and it's pretty much at all-time highs, at least all-time highs from this run. I don't know if I'm going to have to go back to see the 2006 numbers, which is going to take us a while to get back to. But I think this is all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's crazy that the Philly housing index has doubled, almost doubled from the high that we saw in 2005. So, but similar action. I mean, look at the moves, the price moves that we've seen. And again, I think a lot of this is just where the equity markets are. It has nothing to do with fundamentals. It has everything to do with the reverse Ron Jeremy reach around, which still we've offered zero money for somebody to come on and tell us about it. But nobody's taken us up.
Hey, wait a second, but that zero money comes in 3 easy payments.
Zero. Nobody has taken up our offer to come on and tell us how that unwinds. But clearly, this is showing up in all stocks, including housing stocks. And I'm not going to go through Toll Brothers, D.H. Horton, et cetera. You can do that on your own. But we're at all-time highs. And this is a monthly chart. This is still very bullish, Bob. But this index, only started existing back in 2002. Crazy, though, really, when you think about it. It dipped down to in the 2009, debacle. We've gone 10x basically from the 2009 low. So there you go. Again, the 10x always shows up. Doesn't matter whether it's housing or a tech stock, but
or pet rocks.
10x is the magic number. So I don't know, Bob. It's again, that's interesting information. I want to see existing homes. I want to see all of it. I'm not really following it. Obviously, housing prices. I wouldn't buy a house in this market, no matter where you are, unless it was in like Turkey.
Wait a second. Also, unless you're Nancy Pelosi. Right. You see, she just closed on a $25 million spread in Florida.
And Florida. Oh, she's moving to Florida. She didn't like the taxes in her own state.
Oh, yeah, right there. Braving. She's a brave soul, Matt. Braving sea level rise. That's what the Dems do. They lead from the front, right out there. Right, her and Obama just a few thousand miles north of her, right on the ocean, ready to pack sandbags for their communities.
Right.
And they lead from the front. It's awesome to watch. It's just awesome. Matt, speaking of watching, let's talk Turkey.
Which side of Florida is she on? The New York side or the Midwest side?
That makes a difference too, because one side is going to flood before the other, right?
Right. Especially if you tip it with Nancy Pelosi's money.
And her giant ego. I don't know.
Yes.
All right, man, let's talk Turkey. I got a 19-pound turkey. I'm gonna stuff it. Right? How about this? We stuffed turkey forever, and all of a sudden, the good people at the CDC, I believe, or the FDA, or some government agency said,
I think it was the
stuffed turkeys.
It was the FBI.
It was the FBI said, if you stuff turkeys, you're going to kill your whole family, and we will blast your door down. Stuffing turkeys, I believe, will be the next thing that will be illegal. Not only right now, they just say you shouldn't, but there will be a turkey stuffing mandate by next year. Like if you stuff a turkey, you're going to the camp. All right,
you're getting shipped off to.
Just so you know, I am stuffing that turkey, dude. I can't wait to. He seems a little angry today. No, I'm fine. Really, I'm fine.
You seem a little, it's all the pressure of the cooking, the big meal.
One of my favorite days. All right. And we just did, by the way, Lynn got up early and hammered out the au gratin butternut squash mushroom au gratin already. And I got to tell you, we talked about it yesterday.
Because you had to have one for breakfast, you fat.
I talked about it yesterday, and then I've rethought about it. It's the only time in my life I've been to a Thanksgiving feast where I demanded the recipe.
Wow.
And Sue Barr gracefully wrote it out in beautiful handwriting. I mean, it's a keepsake now.
She must have been a Catholic schoolgirl, I meant to say yesterday, because she's got wonderful.
How about Vince Vaughn, the Catholic Protestant, playing the Jew on Curb better than Jews play Jews? He's unbelievable. I don't know. And we talked about this yesterday. Larry David just fully flipping off woke culture with every episode. Like, listen, I'm an old curmudgeon-y Jew, and I'm funny, and I know what's funny. I've known what's funny for 40 years. Don't tell me what's funny.
Right.
Anyway, Matt Turkey, what I really wanted to talk about
is turkey.
And
How did I know that?
Because this is a giant story. Again, like home sales, 13-month inventory, not great. Turkish lira in a complete free fall.
Not today. We got
a little reversion going on today. But let's talk about it, because today Apple said we can no longer sell our products in Turkey until we figure this whole. Basically, what Apple said is our guy that's in the finance department that was supposed to hedge our currency exposure for everything that we sell in Turkey was asleep at the wheel. And now, let's bring up the chart.
For those that aren't aware, the Ottoman Empire is still alive and well, and it's Turkey.
Absolutely. I mean, this is part of the storyline. This isn't, Guatemala.
Right.
This is a giant economy.
Yeah. So 2 days ago, we were trading up here at 13.27. Today, we've pulled back 5% on the Turkish lira, 4.6%. So we're getting some huge volatility, but that was after that explosion out. So we have not come back below that 1140. If you get below that, maybe it's a little tired here, but this still looks like it's got lira's going to zero, and the dollar's going to sky high. Speaking of the dollar, because that is still the more important story, the dollar just sniffed 97 today. It took less than a week, less than 3 days, I think, to go from 96 to 97. Again, if you don't think that interest rates are going to start to rise, and then I saw something that the Fed said, one of the Fed heads said, yeah, we're thinking about raising the rates next year. I'm like, next year at this time? Give me a break. Why are you even talking about it then? What a waste of time. Like these.
Well, I mean, part of the lira story was their economy is a little bit not chugging along, I guess. Why else would you lower rates?
Right.
When they lowered the rates, I mean, it was
when you're in a warring economy, which is generally what they like to do over there in the Ottoman Empire, is war, and they're gearing up again. With Syria and Libya, they're all lobbing missiles at each other again. But you can see this dollar move is just astounding to me. I mean, this is last week. This is the 18th right here when we crossed 96, Bob, and in a week we've gone to 97. Let me remind you, par is coming 100. If you don't think so, you're not looking at what I'm looking at, which is right here. This is why we moved so swiftly. We had this hole that we had to fill, and we're coming back to the, kind of the 1.5 year. This is a 2-year chart, rather 3-year chart, 19, 20, and 21. This is the point of control in that 3-year chart, 97.42. Still bearish if you're trading 3-year charts, but.
Well, not only that, a great place to take profits too. If you've been on the long side here.
If you've been on the long side, start.
Please lighten.
Again, we were buying it here at 89.50 at the start of the year. All I can say is that's the trade of the year. That is the trade of the effing year right there. The dollar moving like that is a monster move. And again, we're back into the meat, and this is a 3-year chart. You start looking at shorter term charts, and it's uber bullish, right?
We talked about how big this market is, the dollar, and even the Turkish lira. I mean, it looks like a penny stock now.
It basically is. It's going to zero, and all of them are going to zero, including the U.S. dollar. But the U.S. dollar, I contend, will be the last one standing. And whatever that digital program, whether it's social social, what do they call
Credit
it?
scores. Matt, you
Social
cannot throw
credit.
your car up. You've been driving too much.
I've been driving too much. You got to slow it down. You can't go more than 8 hours a day.
Hey, Matt, I wanted to share also that this graphic here, I could not pull up the graphic with the website to see the website name. And I want to give them credit. And it's I have to spell it because I can't pronounce it because this is a Turkish website. EKATHIMERINI.com.
Okay.
Akathamarini? I don't know. Something like that. You heard me spell it.
You don't speak Turkish?
I don't. You know what? You know what I want to do though, because I want to show the Turkish lira from a standard deviation point of view. But here is the website that I pulled this from. Again, you pronounce it. Please leave me out of it.
Yeah.
Here's the 3-day. I mean, just look at how fairly stable it was from all of 19. Here, I mean, you can't even. Pictures are worth. This is worth a lot of money, by the way. If you were trading FX, that move is just unbelievable. Right. Please pay attention. I think the other thing that we wanted to that we emphasize, Matt, when we talk about right sides, is that the world is going to continue to see these type of moves, either left side or right side. I don't think there's any way around this now. I mean, it's going to be the greatest generation for trading that we've seen in forever, because shit is not going to, I mean, it's going to be a game of hot potatoes. Speaking of potatoes, got to go peel some from the time for, going forward, as far as I can tell.
Speaking of hot potatoes, have you looked at Doge or Shiba lately?
I know they were neck and neck on the downside the other day. I saw those in the threads.
Let me just look at Doge back down again, 5.5% here, ruining everybody's Thanksgiving in the millennial, I guess, age bracket. So there's going to be a lot of grumpiness at the table because their Robinhood accounts are getting sliced and diced.
If you have a crypto meme trader, please give them a wide berth.
A lot of stuffing, because this thing, the Doge, is just looking like it's still going to zero. Nothing new there. Every rally gets sold in this piece of shit pet rock world. Anyways, Shiba, same thing. I saw it was hitting 3 cents or whatever. I don't even know. 1 millionth of a cent. Like, I don't even know how to say what it is anymore. But it's whatever it is. It's 10,000.
3 and too many zeros to count.
But new lows here. New lows continuing lower here. This is this is what I call the slip and slide formation. Slip and slide. Slip and slide. Slip and slide. Just had to
Matt, that's all I got. Actually, that is not all I got. I got one more thing to share because it is Thanksgiving, and it's my favorite tweet of the year, I think, that I've put out there.
Okay.
We talk about all the time, Matt, about being Christian young men. How do you get better, live better, be better? Thanksgiving is a great time to reflect on it. And this was a response to Hotep Jesus, one of my favorite personalities on the Twitter sphere. He's asking about white Hoteps. Is there such a thing? He goes on to talk about the whole race card being a brutal way to just go through judging people, right? Just on the color of their skin. I mean, how long do we got to talk about this? Martin Luther King did it forever, right? But anyway, when I listened to it, I said, you nailed it. Energy is colorblind. Emotion is colorblind. We are tribal at our DNA level. Your tribe can be colorblind if you so choose. It's up to you, man. Vibrational energy is the only metric to judge by. This from Power versus Force. We brought it up before. And the whole idea here is to try to vibrate a little bit higher in your life, right? If you're living at that really low vibrational levels of shame and guilt and apathy, you got to try to do better in everything that you do. And
do good, be good.
Do good, be good, and be grateful. I mean, I don't know. That's what it is. Gratitude, Thanksgiving, be grateful, and vibrate higher. I mean, you got to get above pride to even get there, right? Pride is a deadly sin, by the way. Look it up. It's a fact. And get to my favorite character.
Can liberal fact checkers actually check something like that, though?
I'm pretty sure they're going to be on it right now. Matt, courage. You got to get to courage. Nobody more courageous.
You can't. Hey, Bob, you can't prove faith. You can't prove it.
Nope, you can't. You can't fact check.
So I guess the fact checkers would say faith is not true.
Matt, we're going to try to vibrate to courage, and we're going to be inspired by the greatest one of all time, the Cowardly Lion, who said emphatically, "What do they got that I ain't got? Courage."
Courage.
You could say that again. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving, Matt. Happy Thanksgiving out there to everybody. Don't overcook your turkey. And latitude of gratitude, Matt. Thank you.
Hey, Bob, give me a call because I got to get this recipe hammered down from you a little bit better. Happy turkey.